Hi guys, Hamster here, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about storing ammunition. I know this video has probably been done a million times, but I wanted to make a compelling argument as to why I think you should, and give you some information to help you determine how much and what type of ammunition that you should be storing. Now, your weapon is not really any good without ammunition. And times may change in the future where that weapon may be used to save your life, life of someone you love. You know, for without the rule of law situation, shit hit the fan situation. In a situation or a crisis, natural disaster, whatever may happen in the future, odds of you picking up ammunition after an event has happened is probably going to be close to zero. So the time to store ammunition is now. Ammunition may just become so expensive in the future you can't afford to buy very much ammunition. And in that case, it would be wise to put some aside now while it's available and still affordable. So yes, I think you should store ammunition. Ammunition has an extremely long shelf life. This ammunition could easily outlast me. Stored properly, which is not hard to do, it has an almost indefinite shelf life. So it's not going to spoil, it's not going to perish on you if you have more than you need, or more than you perceive you need. So yes, you should be stockpiling ammunition. I mean, the number one reason why you should be stockpiling ammunition is one thing no one wants to talk about. And that is to prevent tyranny and the loss of man's freedom. Alright, I said it. I just flat out said it. Okay. So you agree that you should set some ammunition aside and you should store some ammunition. How much ammunition should you store, and what type of ammunition should you purchase? I'll give you my thoughts on that, and maybe that will help you make a decision. How much ammunition should you put aside for an emergency? I hear a lot of people talk and come up with arbitrary numbers, and they basically say you should have this many, you should have that many. They basically set themselves an arbitrary maximum number. I should save up to this much, and when I hit that amount, I'm done. I kind of believe the exact opposite of that philosophy. I believe you should set a minimum amount of ammunition, and anything you stockpile over that is just icing on the cake. But you should have a minimum supply. And you might say, well, how much is that minimum supply? I'm going to tell you whatever is right for you, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you can afford, whatever you feel comfortable with. It's the same as with storing food and water. Some people feel having more than 3 days worth of food and water is crazy, and that's all they feel comfortable with. Other people would like to have 30 days worth of supplies on hand. They feel comfortable that they can handle any situation if they have 30 days worth of food and water. So I tell you, figure out how much ammunition you think you're going to need in an event of emergency. Figure out the minimum number that you feel comfortable with. Work to achieve that minimum number. But then when opportunity arises, keep adding to that. But never let your supply fall below your minimum comfort level. So when you're out shooting or training and you shoot up some ammunition, make sure you replace it. It's okay to get far ahead, but never let it fall below your minimum amount that you feel comfortable with for the event of emergency. Okay, so you've decided to store ammunition. I've kind of given you some advice on how much to store. What type of ammunition should I store? Should it be whatever is the cheapest that I can find? Or should it be the most expensive ammunition? I'm going to tell you Neither one of those really matter. What you need to consider is what ammunition runs 100% in your weapon. Because if it's the most expensive ammunition out there, but your gun doesn't like it, it doesn't feed, it jams, then it's not the right ammunition to buy. And if it's steel case ammo, which you're able to buy cheaply and stockpile huge quantities of it, is that really any good if your gun hates steel case ammo and jams all the time? No. Because this is ammunition you're putting away for an emergency. So the last thing you want to do is have ammunition that induces malfunctions in the event of emergency. Because remember, this is going to be used in the event of emergency. So you need ammunition that is close to 100% reliable as possible. So if the cheapest stuff that you can buy and stockpile a lot of doesn't run in your weapon, then is it really effective to have a ton of ammunition that doesn't work well? No. I say find an ammunition that works well in your gun, and that's what you should buy. And when you found an ammunition that runs well, gives you very few malfunctions, I mean, granted, nothing is ever going to be 100% reliable. You're going to have malfunctions occasionally, but you need to minimize that. So you need to find ammunition that will be as close to 100% reliable in your firearm as possible. And then that's what you need to purchase. Also, when purchasing that, resist the temptation to buy this brand, that brand, whatever's on sale, mix and match. I'll use the AR as platform as an example. You got the M193, you got the M855, you got different bullet weights. Try to stick with the exact same brand, exact same bullet weight. Now, why do you say exact same brand? Because all the different brands of ammunition you buy, say you're constantly buying, but you never buy the same brand twice, or you've got like 10 different manufacturers of ammunition, you've got 3 or 4 different bullet weights, your point of impact is never going to be the same. I mean, it is so crucial to have your weapon zeroed and be able to maintain that zero. I mean, we've already said this ammunition is going to be used in an event of emergency. So you need it to be reliable. You need to have some. It needs to be reliable. And if you're always buying the exact same ammunition every single time that you've determined runs well in your weapon, and you're always buying the exact same ammunition, once your gun is zeroed, you should obviously maintain and check that zero periodically. But once your gun is zeroed, it doesn't matter which ammo can you grab, which loaded magazine you grab. Your point of impact is always going to be right on. And when you're using so many different types of ammunition, your point of impact is going to be all over the place. So I think that's something to consider. I mean, because it's already for an emergency, and so now you have an emergency situation, and which box of ammo did I grab? Okay, do I got to aim low? Do I got to aim high? Where's my point of impact on this brand of ammo? I can't remember where it is on this frickin' brand. And then you get a different magazine in there, which has a different brand, and now your point of impact is moved again. So that's how I think of it right there. Yes, you should be storing ammunition. Yes, you should look for ammunition that is 100% reliable in your firearm. You should try to buy the same type of ammunition, same brand preferably, every time. So your point of impact is not always constantly changing. And you should maintain a minimum supply of ammunition all the time. The same thing you do with your flashlights, you maintain a stockpile of batteries. You should maintain a stockpile of ammunition for your weapons. Because without the ammunition, your weapon's pretty much useless. But you're still not sure about, okay, well, you say I should maintain a minimum, and that minimum is whatever I feel comfortable with. Yes. It comes down to basically the same, I'll break it down to a simple analogy. A squirrel stores acorns for the winter. The squirrel knows the winter is coming. The squirrel knows he needs a certain amount of acorns to get himself through. Does the squirrel stop saving acorns when he has you know, a fair amount? Or does he continue all summer stocking away acorns? He continues putting away acorns at every opportunity he has. Because the squirrel does not ever know how long that winter's going to last. How cold it's going to get. How deep the snow is going to be that season. And how long it's going to be the spring. So the squirrel never stops storing acorns. If he only stored what he thought was enough, and the winter was longer and tougher than he figured, then what is the fate of that squirrel? That squirrel perishes. So, when it comes to putting away ammo, do what you can. Set yourself up with a minimum. Don't let your stockpile fall below that minimum. But don't ever limit yourself to how many rounds. Or like, okay, I've hit that number and I'm done. I wouldn't do that. You know, it's just like it's like having a checking account. I need a certain amount of money in my checking account every month so I feel comfortable, so I can get the bills paid. I can pay the house payment, the car payment. You know, there's money in there so the wife can go to the store and buy groceries. You know, laundry detergent. If my checking account gets too low, yeah, you kind of feel like, wow, am I going to be able to cover all my commitments? But I've never once had the bank call me and tell me, you know what, your checking account's full. We can't squeeze another nickel in your checking account. It's like busting at the seams. It doesn't happen. So maintain a minimum balance. Don't set an arbitrary maximum on yourself and limit your ability. You can always sell it. You could always trade it. Or God forbid, you might need it. So that's my take on storing ammunition. So let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.